Imagine a powerful, wide river, swollen by monsoon rains. On one bank, there's a cowherd facing this huge decision for his whole herd. Does he just, plunge them into the rushing water and hope for the best?
Or does he look for a safer way?
Exactly. Or does he carefully seek out the safest path? It sounds like a pretty simple old story, right? But what if I told you this, well, seemingly humble task is actually packed with some surprising insights about navigating life's biggest challenges?
Intriguing.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a fascinating ancient text called the Cūḷagopālasuttaṃ.
Which translates roughly as the shorter discourse on the cowherd.
Right, and this text uses this really vivid metaphor, the cowherd crossing a river, to explore some pretty profound questions about wise guidance, the nature of suffering, and different paths to freedom. Really deep stuff.
It really is. It uses the everyday to point to something much larger.
So our mission today is to unpack this powerful metaphor, pull out the wisdom it offers on, well, how to find truly wise guidance when life kind of throws you into those turbulent waters. We'll explore who these wise guides might be and what crossing the river really implies for your own journey.
Sounds good.
Now, before we get to the cowherds themselves, the text talks about being skilled in this world and the other world, but also these other realms, the realm of Mara and the realm beyond Mara, and even the realm of deaths and the realm beyond death. These sound, well, deeply significant. Can you quickly clarify what these terms might imply?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're key concepts. So think of this world as, our present life, our immediate experience. The other world is then what lies beyond, maybe future lives, maybe other dimensions or states of being, depending on interpretation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, Mara's realm, that's crucial. Mara isn't necessarily a person, but more a symbol. It represents craving, illusion, distraction, all the attachments that keep us bound to suffering, bound to the cycle of existence.
So being skilled in Mara's realm means understanding those forces.
Exactly. Understanding how they work, how they trap us. And then being skilled in the realm beyond Mara implies having the wisdom to see through all that, to transcend those bindings, freedom from those forces.
Okay. In death.
Similarly, the realm of death relates to impermanence, loss, the end of life as we know it. Being skilled in it means, well, understanding its nature, not being terrified or deluded by it. But the realm beyond death that points towards liberation, Nibbāna, a state untouched by death, by suffering, ultimate peace.
Wow. Okay, that definitely sets the stage. So let's start with a scenario maybe we've all faced in some way, following bad advice. The text opens with this Magadhan cowherd, right? It's late monsoon season. The Ganga River is huge, powerful.
Yeah, a really challenging situation. He needs to get his cows across.
So what does he do?
Well, here's the thing. The text calls him Dupanya Jatiko, which basically means unwise, lacking wisdom, maybe even a bit foolish. And his critical mistake, he failed to asamavakitva. He didn't properly inspect or examine, didn't check the near bank, didn't check the far bank.
He just went for it.
Pretty much. And crucially, he didn't use a tithaniva, a ford, a known safe crossing point. He just sort of plunged the whole herd straight into the strongest part of the current, it seems.
Oh boy, and the outcome. I imagine it wasn't good.
Not at all. The text paints this grim picture, actually. The cows get caught right in the middle, swirling around helplessly. Manjulaka karitha, it says, just churning in circles.
Wow.
And then tragically, Anedabhyasana pajisu, they perished. They were overwhelmed and died right there in the river. You can almost picture it, can't you? Just chaos and loss.
Yeah, that's a terrible image, a complete disaster.
It's a very stark warning. And the text immediately draws a parallel. It says this is like certain ascetics or Brahmins, spiritual guides who are akusala, unskilled, unknowledgeable.
Unskilled in what way?
Unskilled in those crucial realms we just talked about. They don't really understand this world or the other world or Mara's realm or what's beyond Mara or death or what's beyond death. They lack that deep insight.
So the first big takeaway here is unwise guidance isn't just like a minor detour. It can be catastrophic.
Exactly.
The text says listening to these kinds of unskilled guides leads directly to digarata ahitaya dukkaya, which means
long-term harm and suffering for a very long time. It's not just a temporary setback.
It's basically the ultimate follow at your own peril sign, isn't it? Not just for cows, but for your whole life's direction.
Precisely. Choose your guides carefully. That's the clear message.
Okay, that's a pretty grim picture. Sounds like a clear warning about, just blindly following anyone. So what's the alternative? The text then shifts, doesn't it? It introduces another cowherd.
Yes, it pivots beautifully. It introduces the Sapanyatiko, the wise cowherd, facing the exact same river, same challenge.
But he approaches it differently.
Fundamentally differently. Methodically. The text says he did samavekitva. He carefully inspected both banks. He took the time to assess the situation properly.
And he used the ford, the Tithaniva.
Yes, and crucially, he did use the Tithaniva, the established, safe crossing point. This seemingly small act of wisdom, this diligence, it makes all the difference for the entire herd.
And the result is completely different this time. It's this, beautiful, orderly crossing.
Exactly. The text describes it step by step. First, the Cūḷagopālasuttaṃ, the bulls, the lead cows, the herd leaders, they go first and cross safely.
Okay, the strong ones lead.
Then, the Belavagava,
Right.
the strong, well-trained cows, they follow, no problem.
Makes sense.
After them, the Vachatario, the younger bulls and the heifers, they also make it across safely.
So still the relatively strong ones.
Then, even the Vachakakisavali, the calves, including the weaker, smaller ones, they're guided across too.
Even the little ones.
And this is amazing. Finally, even a Machakotorokoko Tavadeva Jataka, a newborn calf, just born.
Wow, how does that cross?
It's Matu Giravakena Vuhamano. It's carried across essentially out of respect or love by its mother, following the herd. Even the most vulnerable member makes it safely to the other shore.
That's incredible. It's like watching a perfectly executed plan. No panic, no loss.
And the core reason the text gives, it's crystal clear. The cowherd's pantatata, his wisdom, his intelligence and skill.
So the surprising insight maybe is that true wisdom isn't always some, grand dramatic act. It's often in the careful, maybe even mundane-seeming act of looking first.
Yes, knowing where the safe path actually is before you plunge in. That's the key.
And just as the wise cowherd leads his herd to safety.
So do those ascetics or Brahmins, those guides, who are Kusala skilled in all those important realms, this world, the other world, Mara's realm, beyond Mara, death and beyond death. They know the way.
And the outcome of following them.
The text says it leads to Digaratahitaya Sukhaya, long-term well-being and happiness. It's presented as a direct, positive consequence. Discern wisdom, follow it, and the outcome is good. Simple cause and effect, really.
Okay, so we've seen good guidance in action, leading to safety. But the text doesn't just stop there with practical advice, does it? It takes this whole metaphor and layers it onto something much deeper, our spiritual journey.
That's right. This is where it gets really interesting and profound.
How does it connect the different stages of crossing the river, the different types of cows, to our own progress?
It uses Mara's current as this powerful metaphor for the stream of existence itself. The whole cycle of life, death, rebirth, which is filled with suffering, attachments, temptations, all the things that keep us bound. Crossing that current means transcending it.
Finding liberation.
Exactly. Finding liberation. And the text draws these explicit parallels between the different groups of cows and different types of bhikkhu, which means monastics, but really applies to any dedicated practitioner. It describes their spiritual achievements and how they tiriya marasa sota chetka sotina para agame sugami santi, meaning they cut across Mara's current and either have reached or will reach the other shore safely.
So the cows literally represent people at different stages on the path. That's quite a detailed map.
It is. It's a progressive map of spiritual attainment.
Okay, so can you walk us through that? Who do the lead bulls represent, for instance?
Right. So the lead bulls, the Cūḷagopālasuttaṃ, they're likened to the arahants. These are the fully liberated ones. The text describes them with all these terms. Kisava, defilements destroyed. Vosiddhavanto, live the holy life. Katakarnya, done what had to be done. Oitabaro, laid down the burden. Basically, they've already crossed. They're done. Free.
They're already on the other shore, safe and sound.
Completely. They represent the pinnacle, the goal achieved.
Okay, what about the strong, trained cows? The Balavagava.
They're compared to the anagami, the non-returners. These are individuals who have destroyed the 5 lower fetters, the main things that tie us to the cycle of rebirth in the desire realm.
So they don't come back to, human life.
Right. They're reborn spontaneously in higher, pure realms, and they attain final Nibbāna there. They won't return to this world. So the text says they will cross safely. They're definitely going to make it.
Okay. Then the young bulls and heifers. The Vachatar.
Those are likened to the Sakadagini, the once returners. They've destroyed the first 3 fetters and greatly weakened lust, hatred, and delusion.
So they return once.
Exactly. They will return to this human world only one more time to make a final end of suffering. They are also assured of crossing.
Getting closer, what about the calves? Even the weak ones, the Vachaka Kisabalik?
They represent the Sotapanna, the stream enterers. These individuals have also destroyed the first three fetters. They've fundamentally entered the stream leading to Nibbāna.
What does that mean practically?
It means they're avinipatatama, no longer subject to falling into lower realms of suffering like animal births or hell realms. They are nyata sambodhiparayana, certain to reach full enlightenment within, at most, 7 more lifetimes. They've made a decisive break. They have crossed into the safe current, you could say. That's huge progress already. It is. And then finally, that newborn calf.
The one carried by its mother? Yeah.
This is really hopeful. It's compared to the Dhamma followers, Dhammanussarino, and faith followers, Sadhanussarino.
So people just starting out, maybe relying on understanding the teachings or just strong faith.
Precisely. It signifies that even those just beginning the path, perhaps without the full experiential insight yet, but guided by right understanding, Dhamma, or strong confidence, Sada, symbolized by the mother's care, they too will cross. They'll be carried safely across Mara's current.
Wow. So if we step back and look at the big picture, this text isn't just saying get enlightened or perish. It's laying out this very clear, progressive map. It shows there are definite stages and pathways to liberation for people at all different points on their journey, not just for the spiritual superheroes.
Exactly. It's incredibly inclusive and encouraging, really. There's a place for everyone who makes the effort and follows the right path.
And who is the ultimate guide in this whole analogy? The one who really knows the ford. The text brings it back to the speaker himself, doesn't it?
It does. The Buddha makes this powerful declaration. He says, Aha kopana, as for me, kusalo imasa lokasa, kusalo parasa lokasa. He explicitly states that he is skilled in all those realms we discussed earlier.
All 6 of them.
All 6. Skilled in this world, the other world, the realm of Mara, the realm beyond Mara, the realm of death, and the realm beyond death. He's claiming comprehensive knowledge and mastery.
That's quite a statement. What makes that different from just any teacher saying, I know stuff?
Well, it's the scope, isn't it? And the context. It's presented not just as intellectual knowledge, but as the direct experiential understanding that allows one to guide others safely across that current. It's the ultimate claim of being the wise cowherd.
And the implication for listeners is pretty direct too. Tasameha, yesotaba sataba manishanti.
Tastabavisati degarati kayasukayati. Meaning, for those who think his words are worth listening to, worth placing faith in, for them, it will lead to that long-term well-being and happiness.
It's a direct invitation to trust his guidance for their own safety.
It is. And it really prompts the question, doesn't it? What does it mean to be skilled in realms like beyond Mara or beyond death? It's pointing to something incredibly profound, an understanding of ultimate freedom, of transcendence, of a peace that's beyond our usual cycles of suffering and existence.
It's not just knowing about the river, it's knowing the ford and having crossed it.
Precisely. And showing others the way.
The text then wraps up with these really beautiful, uplifting verses, doesn't it? Emphasizing that ultimate goal.
Yes, it proclaims that the Amitadvarta, the deathless door, Kamanabanapatya, the safe path to Nibbāna, have been opened.
Opened by whom?
By the Sambodhina Pajanata, the fully enlightened one, the one who knows, who understands the world completely.
So Nibbāna here is that ultimate safety zone, the far shore.
Yes. It represents total liberation, freedom from all suffering, the cessation of craving, the blowing out of the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion. It's the ultimate safe refuge.
And Mara's stream.
The text says, Chinamapapi Maro Sota, the stream of the evil one, Maravatista, Vinikata. It's been obscured, shattered, destroyed, undone. Its power to bind has been broken by the one who understands.
Wow. That's a powerful image of victory over suffering.
It really is.
And the final encouragement, the last line, it's almost like a cheer, isn't it?
Yes, be filled with joy. Seek that safety, practitioners. It's this wonderful final invitation to actually embark on the journey yourself, now that the door is open and the path is shown.
There's a real sense of hope and maybe accessibility in that ending. It's not just an abstract teaching.
Not at all. It's a call to action, grounded in joy and the possibility of safety.
So we started this deep dive with what seemed like a simple story. Cowherds, cows, a river. And what we found was this incredibly profound analogy for seeking wise guidance, for offering it, and for navigating life's big challenges, those currents that can pull us under.
Yeah, the Cūḷagopālasuttaṃ gives us this vivid mental map, really, understanding the dangers of foolishness, the power of wisdom, and these different stages of actually crossing the river, overcoming the obstacles.
And this ancient wisdom, it speaks directly to our lives today, doesn't it? It really makes you think. Are you, carefully checking the sources of information and guidance you follow?
Are you looking for the ford?
Exactly. Are you following those who've actually inspected the banks, who know the safe path? Or are you just sort of plunging into the current of opinions and trends, hoping for the best?
It really underscores the power of discernment, of wisdom, in guiding yourself and maybe even others through life's often very turbulent waters.
So here's something to maybe think about as you go about your day. What is the Mara's current in your own life? What are those obstacles, those distractions, those sources of suffering that feel like a powerful, overwhelming river trying to sweep you away?
That's a great question. And maybe even more importantly, who or what are you trusting to guide you safely to the other shore, to that place of genuine, long-lasting well-being and happiness?